Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's show where we do have Mr. Chris Palmer. People were worried that you weren't coming, Chris.
Nah, I'm coming.
So, yes, we need the yin and yang of SEO. Yes. I agree. It's always good to have someone to bounce off of, and yeah, that's why we still do them. We still enjoy doing them. So it's good doing them as a partnership. It's always fun, good fun, and we can throw insults at each other and trip each other up when you ask crazy questions, guys, and we both don't know the answer, and I try and throw it Chris's way, and then he just randomly Googles it. But yeah, it makes for fun. But before we go for any fun and any questions, check out ODYS for Age Domains, a great marketplace where you will be able to sell your domains on there as well in the near future. So do check them out, guys.
That's handy.
Yeah, that would be amazing, mate, because I've got so many domains that I could potentially whack on there that will do someone good. I've just never get round to fucking utilising them like many of us. I'm sat there with domains that I actually forgot I had and don't remember buying. So you must do that as well, Chris, right? You know, you just go through.
It's funny you say that. I went on a buying spree of some new domains, but I had a bunch. So I did take a re-inventory of what I had, but I've been launching them lately. I've been putting them up on an Amazon server just to do stuff with them. But I have a lot of junk ones too. Yeah, about 30, 40 now at this point.
How does he know?
Nah, that's not it. Not me.
Nah, he wasn't. He wasn't. But it's fun to spread that rumor.
I get booked, I'll never come back. I'll be going for a ride.
Dirk, Jimbree, Maeve. So, guys, do put your questions in the chat, and we will answer as many as we can. But I've got a question for you, Chris. Someone messaged me at 7 a.m. this morning, and they sent me a link to a website. It was a G site, which was blasted with your face all over it, with lorem ipsum that ranks on page 1 for SEO in a very big city. I'm not going to say what city, but is that an old test, a new test? What the fuck is that? Because people are asking me, and I'm like, I don't know.
It was an older test. I was really at that point I was trying to master the Kyle's methodology. So I really spent a lot of time trying to really figure out what he knew. So like I got a hold of the old stuff, I got his new stuff. The old stuff is where I really learned a lot from, like the really old stuff. It's not even out there anymore. Like he was actually giving calculations of like, you know, it was really good. It was really good. So that was like the first one that I really spent the time and really figured out the count, like how to count it, how to figure out what the math is. And it succeeded. Yeah. So
doing well. Just I didn't know, and people are like, what is this?
Number one.
Something in his mastermind, but it was a competitive term as well. So fair play to you for doing that. It's just funny because I'm looking at it like eyes half closed still, and I'm like, fuck, what's this shit? And I'm like, fuck, it's Chris.
I got a new one I'm doing now. I'm doing another one with the entities. I'm trying to figure out if I can exchange keywords and variations of keywords for entities. Does it have the same type of weighting? So I'm doing that one now just to figure out how can I apply this, and is it as powerful as I think? So far, not so good, but we're working on it.
But it still does work to some degree, to confirm what Maeve's asking.
What, the entities?
The whole thing.
Oh, well, doing the lorem ipsum, like, yeah, it's still this. It's the same exact thing. I mean, once you figure out what the count is, once you know what the count is, what the word count is, how many headings are optimized, what the, you know, variations, the primary and the co-occurring keywords are. Once you figure out the count, it still works, but there has to be an element of authority. That's still counted, but I think it's counted way less than it used to be. Links are still a factor, but not like it was. I'm not saying they're useless. They're not. They're still very powerful, but you have to make sure the on page is tight. Yeah, it works.
Interesting. So Dirk's asking, what's your take on ranking in Google News for highly competitive terms?
It's not something that I spend my time doing. I'm not, I don't mess with Google News. It's not my bag.
It's not really something I've actively seeked out to do, although I did have a competition where I wanted to rank for stuff, and we used images and everything else, and people use Google News, and obviously Google News is somewhat, if you get a big placement, if you like, on Yahoo or whatever, that counts for a lot when it comes to ranking in Google News. So it can be done, but again, you would need to tailor your article and everything to suit as well. But not something I actively try and push out, because it drifts out anyway in Google News. So I don't really see it as a kind of long-term ongoing strategy personally. Boothco, thank you very much for the super sticker. It is much appreciated. You've not been here for a few weeks. What's been going on? Joseph Valaba, what do you think of Google Ads and affiliate links? Good way to go?
I don't primarily run ads. I don't utilize ads for affiliate offers. It's not what I do. I'm sure you can, but I don't. I primarily focus on organic.
I am very similar, Joseph, but I think I've said this before. I spoke at a conference a few months back in Dubai called Affiliate World Conference, and there was only 2 out of all the other speakers, SEO speakers. The rest of these guys were simply using ads to make money in affiliate and making a lot of fucking money. So it can be done. Whether that's a good way to go or not is debatable. As an SEO, and likewise with Chris, we're going to utilize our knowledge to make money rather than forking out a fortune in ads. But I think getting traffic from multiple different sources, if possible, and you're getting an ROI, why not?
For sure. Yeah, and you see them all the time, like on Empire Flippers. Like you see, there's a lot of guys doing it that way, and gals doing. But you have to keep feeding the machine.
Yeah.
So
I didn't realize. I didn't really think about it too much, to be honest, before Dubai, Chris. But when I was there, these guys, they don't even know what SEO is. These ad guys, they do not even care about SEO. They're making that much money. They're just like, what the fuck's SEO? Oh, I might try that one day or whatever. And you're just like, what the fuck? So, yeah, it was eye-opening for me to see the other side of the equation, so to speak. So, yeah, interesting.
It's a patience game. SEO is a patience game. That's for sure.
Very patient. Mr. Mullins, he's got about 20 sites that have lorem ipsum, all exactly the same, just a different title tag. They rank good, no links, no nothing on mine, local stuff. Old Mullins is everywhere, isn't he? Everywhere. Right, so
I do see him.
Mullins goes to all these conferences online. He's in this, he's in that, he's in everyone's group. He's all over YouTube. And then yesterday I'm watching Stephanie Solenheim, or whatever you call her, the SEO girl from America. She's doing a live and her kids were in the zoo, and Mullins was in there as well, giving her a bit of as well. Mullins is everywhere. And he's trying everything. That's a sign of a good man. That's what I like to see, Mullins. Mark Rolls, head shake. If anyone doesn't know what that means, I am getting reached out to, calling me Chake. Before it was Chambell. Someone called me Chambell on here. It's now Chake.
I saw it on Facebook. It's funny.
So, I like the Chambell one better, to be fair. Like, there's something in that Chambell that was...
I like how you like putting people on blast. Like, oh, you did this here. Look, I'm going to show this to 40,000 people.
Yeah. It's all done with good humour, though. I try not throw anyone's business under the bus, but it's good to show people, like, don't fucking spell my name wrong if you want. If you want to try and get my attention, or maybe that is the outreach strategy. Just spell the name wrong, just so that it does get attention, because it certainly caught my attention. Put it that way, but not for the right reasons.
What's funny is that guy is a content writer.
Yeah.
He was pitching you on content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and the worst thing is, people are saying H is nowhere near R on the keyboard, so it's not like your standard typo where your fat finger has hit the next button.
Maybe a G or a J. Yeah.
Yeah, but nah, not fucking, yeah. Chig is just gross negligence as far as I'm concerned. But good to see you, Mark. Content sites are the way forward, boys. Certainly, they are doing very well. Tariq, what is your thoughts on SEO and Google Ads as a career?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. You know, as you're talking about the ads for affiliate, see what I'm finding with the ads is I need somewhere to take the client. Like, what's next, right? So, okay, we've built out the content strategy. Okay, we have the off page. Okay, everything's ongoing. Well, then where, right? So I like ads for that as step 2 is, okay, let's turn on, because we really want them to be in 3 places. You know, so I want to be at the top. I want to be, you know, in organic, and then ideally in maps. So I like ads, but for another reason than affiliate, that's for sure.
But what I would say, Tariq, is SEO or Google Ads or a combination of both. You can make a lot of money if you master either or both.
Sure.
I'm not sure SEO and Google Ads go together as such. You're either an AdWords guy or an SEO guy. You don't tend to be both. But yeah, it's a great career, and certainly one that I've done very well from, and would always say to anyone, completely self-taught. I didn't have to go to university. And is digital going anywhere anytime soon? Absolutely not. So you have good potential for an ongoing career in the digital space. So choose wisely. Pick whatever one you enjoy the best, and become a specialist in something. Don't be one of these marketers that are good at SEO, YouTube, ads, fucking Facebook, whatever. Like, be good at something. By all means, as an SEO guy, we both use YouTube as a platform to showcase knowledge and whatnot. But I wouldn't consider myself a YouTube superstar by any stretch of the imagination. And although I do try and upskill on it, I don't want to offer that ever as a service. So try and stick to one thing and master it, because there's a lot to all of the different things. So
it's good to know each of the pieces, though. It's
good
to know, but specialize. I see that a lot too. It's like, okay, you know, this 3 months I see them, they'll do this 3 months, this 3 months, this. I'm like, no, I don't only know SEO, but I do know about these things too.
Yeah, it's good to know. I would consider myself competent on WordPress, competent on Google Ads, competent in social media, competent in YouTube. But there's people out there that could blow me away all day long on all of those things. You know, if I get stuck on WordPress, it's just a phone call to someone. Hey mate, can you sort me out? So yeah, know your strengths and weaknesses, and that's
I think, though, to answer that gentleman's question, though, like, could SEO evolve massively? Yes. Do I think that the ads are ever going to go away? I don't. You know, like, I think once you master ads, you've mastered ads. You know, man, Google Ads, as long as you could get some clients in the door, that's got to be low labor, high profit.
Yeah, well, that was what I was going to say, and I'm probably going to hate myself for this, but if I mastered ads and I'm just charging a monthly retainer and spending a fuck ton of money, getting all of this fucking traffic, I've got no problems. The minute Google does an update, all fucking hell breaks loose and you're getting the blame for everything. You know, the minute someone's email goes down, the SEO guy gets the fucking blame. It doesn't fucking matter. So SEO
That was me last week.
Yeah.
Never have 9 people calling you all at once. Yeah, man.
Oh, dude, that is why, Chris. Years ago, I stopped doing any websites, hosting, or any of those services, because once the server goes down and you've got 9 people who've got businesses that are taking leads and generating money, it can become pretty stressful when you start not functioning properly and you're like rushing around and mistakes happen and you start getting snappy, and yeah, it's fucking horrendous. So host your own websites and give us all fucking peace, is what I said.
Yes.
But Blair Urquhart, by the way, Blair, you look very like Chris. Don't know if you guys are related in any way.
Maybe.
Could be. But anyway, I wanted to, regarding up Ukraine things going, if I'm allowed, regarding YouTube, to donate my super chats to Ukraine regarding YouTube policies. I couldn't tell you whether you're allowed to donate that, but I'm sure you could take the money out and donate it to wherever the hell you like. So yeah, but
YouTube's
I'm not
taking
sure.
their 20. They're taking their 20 no matter what. So I'm sure they'll let you donate whatever you want.
Yeah. Sriam, I've got an affiliate site that's 3 years old, makes around $200 a month. Now the content that has been published recently has already started ranking, whereas the ones from 2020 receive 0 impressions. What could be the problem there, Chris?
Well,
shit content. The old one was shit.
Well, and 2, maybe have you freshened it up? Have you pruned it? Have you readjusted it? Are you using terminology from 2020? Have things changed? I don't know the industry. I might take one more stab at it because you already have the content, just to see if you can get it freshened up. And then give it, 2 months and see if it starts picking back up traction. But if not, I would just get rid of it and move forward and do more of what's working. Yeah. That's what I would do.
Once something works, all I would say is abuse the living daylights out of it.
Yes.
Fill your boots. Blair says you're still like a YouTube superstar. You're one of the biggest channels for SEO people overall. That's always the game, and
it's true.
Chris is obviously wanting to beat me and all that stuff. So yeah, it's
see that in the foreseeable future.
No, but it's always nice to go out and beat people. I'm never going to beat Neil Patel and Brian Dean. They were just in it way too early, years before I started putting out content, and they've got the million. I think Neil hit 1 million subscribers. I might be wrong, but something like that, and it's fucking solid, man. So
I think Brian hung his jersey up though, right?
Kinda part-time. So I'm sure that channel will be exploited in some way by SEMrush.
I would venture to guess. Yeah.
If they indeed, use that as part of their strategy, but
it was falling off though. Like, as I remember on some of those last videos, over time they've picked up steam, but they used to come out and in that first week hit 50, 60K. Towards the end there, he was getting like 18, 19,000, 23,000 first week. I was like, ooh, falling off. The king has been dethroned.
No, but you go through a phase, Chris, where the guy can't fucking put out much more than he's put out. You know what I mean? He doesn't need to have 10 videos on every topic. If he's covered whatever it is, then happy days. So, I think there is probably a lifespan. Quality.
How many variations of local SEO tips can you do? I find myself, I'm standing at the whiteboard here and I'm like, what?
I've said to you before, you probably need to cut back the volume and focus more on quality because you've done the volume now. So do you need to be doing a video every day? Nah, I don't think you do. But if you do, fair play, it's great for your users. But hey, it is what it is. Each to their own.
46% of the people that come are brand new people.
Interesting.
Yeah. So in my opinion, it's and out of that, how many percentage are going to like me? They either like me or you don't. So out of each of those new eyeballs, I'm just trying to capture 2 or 3 more people that might really enjoy the content, might actually learn with me. Right?
That's what it's all about, mate. You cannot be liked by everyone.
No.
Someone actually called me a grifter on Twitter yesterday, which, if you Google the name grifter, some kind of like small, petty criminal. So, yeah, you get called all sorts of names. They're like
criminal.
They're like, yeah, Craig lies about the websites he works on, and I'm like, I don't share the websites I fucking work on, you douchebag. Fuck off. Yeah, madness. But anyway, on to Maeve's question. Best way to revive links to an expired domain, Chris?
Well, generally, when buying the domain, you want to make sure that it hasn't been down for too long. Like, has it only been a couple months, right? When it's been expired. The next thing that I would do is relaunch those pages that the backlinks were pointing at, and then run that existing backlink profile through a indexer. That's what I would do.
What indexer works well for you just now? Because I know there's a couple of new ones out there. Are you
Sinbite?
Heard that mentioned a few times. I think there's another one like Index Me Now or Index Now or some shit like that people are raving about. So
I'm always cautious about most of that kind of stuff. It's like, I know Sinbite's not really doing much with the affiliate program. So when I hear a recommendation from them and then I try it and it's doing really well, I'm very happy. I think the Index Now, I think they offer a generous affiliate program, don't they?
I don't even know. I've never even checked them out. But nah, me, if you've got to revive it, that's the main thing. Create the old URLs, get everything working again, and then decide where you go from there. Dean Signori, good to see you, my man. Ads in Google Shopping are so automated now. Once you get past the initial setup, even in huge accounts, management can become pretty easy and good money to be made. Performance Max will be default in a few months, and that incorporates Google Shopping with display and search. So, as Dean says, to the chap that's potentially looking at it, it can become an easy ride. So
that's what I've been using.
Just don't tell your clients it's that easy. Make it sound a bit more difficult. So you keep that retainer coming, but it is what it is. Blair says, I don't really see me and Chris looking the same. I look like the singer from the Bloodhound Gang. No problem at all, Chris.
What is Blair? A Bloodhound Gang? Bloodhound Gang? What is that? Is that a real group? Okay.
It probably is. But yeah, I'm not Googling it. But nah, no worries at all, Blair. Always appreciate your comments and everything. Glenart says Google Ads is a career itself, pays very well. Google has offered AdWords certification for years.
Oh, and I saw that. I noticed if you do $7,500 every 90 days, they give you can get a link from them. Did you see that?
Nope.
Yeah, there's some type of I forget what it's not like the accreditation. There's another one though, like a preferred or I forget what they call it, but they give you a link right on the site. It's crazy. Yeah. It's a no follow, but it's from Google.
That's it.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
Aaron Semenov, greetings from San Fran, gents. Have either of you used a software like Multi-Login, Go Login for managing your browser fingerprints and proxies? Ghost Browser's another one, but yes, I have. But what about you, Chris?
I use Session Splitter. I don't know. I've heard of Multi-Login. I know a lot of guys really like Multi-Login. I've never heard of Go Login, but we use Session Splitter. So
Session Splitter is from Garrett Acott, for anyone who doesn't know, which is also
Flames. Perfect. Excellent product.
Working well. But Ghost Browser was the one I used back in the day before some of these other ones came out, and it worked very well. And you could assign a proxy to it, a persona, and done your thing. So it was all good. But yeah, I've not personally. I've tried Multi-Login, never heard of Go Login. I didn't like Multi-Login, but not tried it for years, so it could be far more advanced just now. So do check it out for yourself. Siram didn't refresh, update. So this is the guy that had the content from 2020 that wasn't getting any impressions. He didn't refresh or update it apart from the titles and meta description. The site is in the air purifier niche. I'm publishing out content on all topics to establish topical authority. But he goes on to say, didn't publish single product reviews at all. My competitors have 3,000 words in a single review. Is it really necessary for me to hit that mark in order to outrank them, or to try and mark search intent?
I think that there's a way to win both ways, but I think a good way to go for it is to see what they're doing and match and mirror is what I would do, but you want to go slightly above. So as far as the updating on the pages, like you have the title obviously would change out. The URL you're going to keep the same. The H1s and all the other headings I would change out. And then I would also go back through and just freshen up some of the body content, but really change a lot of the upper headings. And then, submit your XML sitemap, submit for crawl, and just see if you can get them back to the page. So change out the headings too. I would.
Yeah, I think that's massive. Change out the headings. But what I'd also say is, Saram, when you're looking at your competitors, just look at the ones that are in the top 10 search results. There is no one out there that can say 3,000 words is the best thing to do. If you can say something in 2,000 words, and you can do it in a lot less. However, look at the top 10 search results. Are your competitors in the top 10 search results, and pick from them what's winning in terms of volume of subheaders and everything else that's there. Follow what's winning. That's Chris's line. Follow what's winning. But I just hate people saying you have to publish X amount of words. It's not just about the word volume. So just bear that little bit in mind. I just want to get that point across.
But I would focus on optimized heading tags. I would really focus on, like, I'm sure you could get the densities down proper, like the amount of whatever the primary keyword is, the right amount of time. But I would focus on the entities and then the LSI keywords. So the co-occurring phrases, figure out what the density of the co-occurring keywords are in the entities and make sure that that's rich in the page, because relevance equals rank as long as you have enough backlinks. So it doesn't have to be, stuff to the gills with exacts, but if you could get those co-occurrings and get those entities on the page and you can get enough links to that page will win for sure. It's just time.
And as Flavia says, 1,000 words optimized is worth more than 3,000 words that's not optimized.
Oh yeah.
So bear that in mind as well when you're looking at competition and whatnot, what's optimized, what's not. So,
and there's, QDD, like, a lot of times Google will just pick one just to screw with us, I think, right? Like you'll go to a page and you're like, wait, this guy has no links. He's got 2 headings on the page. I'm like, he's got 300 words. How is he ranking number 1?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. You ever see those?
Oh, I've seen it loads of times. Like I've had, not necessarily in niches that I've worked in, but I've always had dudes like, Craig, can you come and look at this website? Especially in consultancy calls, can you tell me why this guy's ranking? And you're looking at it and you're like,
I'm like,
I have no idea.
Check your referring. You're going through the steps, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
Because there's nothing about these sites that's particularly well optimized. So maybe the art of SEO is not to optimize.
Yeah. Well, if you crank out enough, I see that too. Like these guys hitting every single variation of every single keyword. And you go to the site, they have 30,000 pieces of content. And then they're like, yeah, look at all these ones that are ranking. I'm like, so 2% are ranking. All these others aren't. Like, you just got lucky on these ones. Right? You know, am I lying? You
Definitely not.
Yeah.
But follow-up question from Aaron Semenoff. You previously recommended Proxidize mobile proxies, but I am too stupid and busy to set that up, which many people are. Are there any reputable mobile proxies that you could recommend online? So I actually have Proxidize there. So I am using my own, but Chris, do you use your own proxies, or are you using someone else's that you can recommend?
I do use my own 4G proxies, but Proxidize made it easy. So like this particular Aaron, that's why Proxidize exists, because they've taken the Raspberry Pi and put it into a box. They sell you the hub, they sell you everything, they sell you the software. Like, it's very easy to set up. So if you're paying consistently, 30 or 40 bucks a month for proxies, for mobile proxies, Proxidize makes it very easy, right? But you're paying a premium for that ease. As far as other services goes, like I was using RSox for quite a long time, but lately I've been just using a lot of Mint Mobile SIM cards because it's pretty cheap, and then I've been just using my phones for connection, depending on what I'm doing. Like if I want to set up Epic or something like that, that's what I've been using. Very easy.
I will be doing a tutorial on the Proxidize setup. Won't be a course because a fucking dummy can do it. But yeah, I'm going to be doing a little video on it for sure.
There you go.
The way I look at it is people are renting out their mobile proxies for a considerable amount of money. Do I want to be doing that and they're getting bumped out? I'd rather just pay the money, get the setup, pay whatever, a couple $100 to have all 20, because mine is the 20. How many have you got, Chris?
I have 13.
13. So I've got the 20 pack, or the 20, whatever you want to call it, that sets that up. And so I'm going to have 20 maximum, but a lot of people are just renting out one or two, and it costs you a couple of $100. I can have all 20 for a couple of $100. So it makes perfect sense. Out with, I've got to outlay $1,500 or whatever it is for the hardware and stuff. But I think long term, it's the best thing to do because people are literally nailing you for mobile proxies. So, and I get it, business is business. So create your own if possible. If not, go to I don't know, Google, I guess, and search for some. But Garrett Acott, I know, rents some of his out as well. So you could go to him and potentially rent some of his.
Is that what you're finding? That's, even though Proxidize made it so easy, I found them many years ago, and it's always been easy. Do you think that even though that's easy, do you think people would just rather just buy them if the price point could come down?
If the price point could come down, then yes. Even for me, do I want to be sitting here with that rig set up with all the SIM cards? It's a fucking pain in the ass, let's be honest. But if that's what's working, if that's what's helping with your CTR or whatever the hell you're using this setup for, then that's just a cost that you're going to have to get into your business. I do a lot of scraping. I do a lot of other bits and bobs. I like to test about and all that. So I'm just going to be fucking around with mine. I'm not doing anything special. But I think it's all part of the learning process for me in terms of setting them up. I just don't see the point in paying someone $70 to rent one when I could have 20 for, I don't know, $200. It's £10 a SIM card, pay-as-you-go SIM card, £10 a month, and I can use it that way. So $200 gives me 20. I could rent that shit out. I'm not renting mine out, but why? Why pay that level of money?
That's 500 page loads.
Yeah.
Right? It's probably what you'll get.
Yeah.
Per gig. Interesting.
Yeah.
Depending on how you're running them. How come you're not using ISPs for scraping?
I could. I just want to fuck around with 4G proxies.
Oh, of course. Okay. That's fair.
Everyone else is using it, so I thought it'd be a cool thing to do.
Okay. That's fair.
But yeah, I'm just doing it to fucking goof around, to be honest. I'm not like, if I'm scraping, I use Scrapebox and I've got blazing proxies and it works well, but I want to play it. I like gadgets, Chris. So
of course. No, I get it. I get
it. So there's a bit of that to it as well. I just like toys to play with. I'm not having everyone else talking about 4G proxies and Proxidize, and I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. That is the real truth of the matter. I'm finding out what fucking Proxidize does, how to blow that shit up, and all the different things you can use it for. So I will have videos coming soon. But anyway, Joseph Valaba, he tried to create a GMB for one dropshipping site, but Google banned him. any advice on doing this kind of stuff to set up a new GMB, he used a proxy in the US. So, Chris, very common question. People are getting their GMBs banned instantly. What is the key to not getting banned?
I mean, it's part of it. I mean, if you're doing GMBs and you're crossing the line, or however you want to look at it, I think it's just part of the game. You know, like that's just part of it. I mean, even when I talk to guys that I would consider to be some of the best, they're losing them. You know, so I think it's a never-ending cycle, and just accept that if you're going to play around with these, that this is part of it. It's just how it goes. But there's a good side. What's good about those, as long as it doesn't, if it's instantly suspended, is far different than banned or temporarily closed. Suspended is a good thing. So, you know, as long as it's not triggering instantly for video verify, if it just suspends, that means they actually assigned you a number. And if they assigned you a number, you can still rank it. So just double check. I'm not sure how that worked out for you. Like, did it instantly go to video or did it instantly suspend? If it instantly suspends, that means it was actually, it existed and they gave you a number, and that means that you can go rank that. Just so you know. It doesn't matter if it's suspended.
Competitors started publishing out content last year about a site in an old expired domain, 18 years old, whereas mine is 3 years old. Is this something that I should be worried about? Domain age is only a small factor. It may have a ton of backlinks, which are obviously going to help that person. But I wouldn't be worried about every little thing that a competitor's got on top of you. Worry about everything else that moves the needle. Doing better content, doing more links, doing everything else better on page. You can't. If you Google is not going to sit there and say, because that guy's 18 years old and you're 3, that's the deciding thing, and he's going to always beat you. That's not the case. So outrank him in every other factor, and you will win, or out analyze and take action. That would be my advice. But Chris, what do you say? Do you worry about these things?
I do take into account how old the site is, and more importantly, how long has it been in the SERP that I want to win. Like, if they've been sitting in number 1 for the last, year or longer, they're going to be kind of tough to knock off. So I'm always looking to see, well, how long have they been sitting on the SERP? How old is the website? How old is that page? Because it plays into how much budget I'm going to need or how much time I'm going to need in order to succeed. So it's not a massive thing, but it definitely needs to be taken into mental account. Like, oh man, this page has been sitting here for 3 years. Like the chances of me getting up there have just gone down a little bit more, right? So, but if the SERP's always moving, it could have a 10-year-old site, but if that SERP's always moving, well, I have a chance.
It's always a chance.
It just depends.
How to learn. We can only answer this in a very brief way, how to learn, because it's a Q&A session, and talking about SEO-friendly content can take too long, so it's not a question we particularly want to delve too deep into. But Chris, if you could give someone a brief description of how to write SEO-friendly quality content.
Well, I think that's why these tools exist, right? So you can either like spend a week or 10 days like really trying to figure out the on-page, like how it works, like how do you do this, right? Maybe longer, I don't know. But they have a lot of tools out there, like Page Optimizer, Surfer's out there. And these types of tools can massively improve your SEO friendliness. So I think that I would just maybe buy the tool for a month, see what they're recommending, see how they're laying out the page, see what they're doing. And then that will increase your, productivity immensely. See what the recommendations are from these tools. And after you do 5, 6, 10 pages, you'll come to realize, oh, I see it. They're getting the headings in here. They're getting optimized headings. Okay, now they're putting these words. Oh, right. So I think that could help. Get a tool. That's what I would do. Get a tool. That's why they exist.
How much does it all cost? It's like $1,500 for the hardware for 20. But go on their website, Proxidize, you can buy 10, you can buy more. So all different prices, mate. It's all on their website, though. Proxidize.com with it. Proxidize with a Z is the one you're looking for. Easy to find. Shiram, and a follow for the topical authority question. Competitor also publishes out on air coolers, water purifiers, and air conditioners. Is that advisable considering EAT and product review updates?
As long as you're keeping them in a, this top level category is air purifiers, and then all the air purifier pages are linking to one another, right? It doesn't have to be literally in a row or whatnot, but just be mindful of what you're outlinking to and how you're internally linking. Google's looking at a page by page basis, and as long as the overall amount of content that's on the overall site isn't weighing totally towards air purifiers and all the anchor text coming into the website isn't air purifiers, you could still probably find some success, but don't let it outweigh the main idea.
Yeah. Michael Norris, I know Google was penalizing sites using PBNs in the past, but are they still de-indexing sites for that now? Or if they detect them now, can you just disavow the links and be back to normal? What would you say to that question, Chris?
I think it's a lot harder to know because what I have found is 99% of the time, for me at least, I can only speak for myself and the sites that I work for, it's been more of an algorithmic, you might have built links to a page, but no matter what you do, build more links, re-optimize the page, right? You have all the criteria has been met, but it just won't win. I would go back and take a look. So it's more of an algorithmic thing, in my opinion. I don't think you're getting manuals. As far as the disavow tool is concerned, I don't know. I've had sites where I disavowed everything. I think the disavow tool only matters once, if you get an actual manual action. Then you could say, oh, I went in, I disavowed everything, I cleaned this up, right? So I hope that answers your question.
Hopefully, Michael. And hi, Mr. Chase Rayner. Hope you're well, buds. Michael Norris, what is your thoughts on using PBN links to a money site? So,
yeah, I get this one a lot. What my general recommendation is don't ever jeopardize the king, right? If you're going to build links into a page, make sure it's to an inner page, especially if you're buying from a public network, right? If it's a super private network, you own the network, that's just sites. But if it's sites that are selling links, just be mindful that you're buying links from other sites that they're selling links, right? So get them to inner pages. That way, if there ever is a problem, at least it wasn't the homepage. At least you didn't burn down the homepage, right? So don't jeopardize the king. Consider the other pages pawns in your game. And I think that's the best way to move forward.
And also, do not just focus on one type of link building strategy. Don't just use PBNs. Mix it all up. Is what my advice would be. Although I have massively spoken about PBNs in the past and I'm a massive fan, the right answer is just mix it all up, man. And like Chris says, watch what you're buying because there's a lot of people selling links out there that are effectively PBNs, and you don't want to be burning your homepage with that. So just think strategically about what you're doing. And you will be fine. It can be done, but you have a better understanding of how PBNs work. There's loads of guides out there and read into different people's strategies, but I'm with Chris. I certainly wouldn't be burning my homepage with that at all. Keep the PR and all the kind of cleaner stuff for the homepage, and that keeps it clean and tidy. Sashi, you have a good day as well. Chris and Debuti, you guys seen maps ranking the same, but call volume go down due to more ads in the way of maps. He's seen several clients' experiences. Is that something you're seeing, Chris?
It depends on the niche. So yeah, and some clients, but it this month might be bad or this week might be bad, and then next week it'll pick back up. Not in every niche, but like in the chiropractors and law, it's been a lot of fun lately. Yes. So yeah, up and down, up and down.
Never fun when that happens. It's like when the emails go down, Chris, all 9 of them. Like when the calls stop in GMBs, I can imagine the same shit. People just, hey, what's fucking going on?
Well, I nipped that in the bud for myself. I took care of that.
What, you sacked them off, or you put someone else on that?
Yeah, I just had it. I'm good. I don't want to focus on other things. Yeah, a few of them I decided to. I think it would be better for their overall goals that we move on from this. Yeah.
So what you're saying is I was right all along, Chris. Clients are bastards, and
they can be. It's good, but yeah, it's not. I'd like to get away from it totally.
It's not fun, is it, man? Not fun. That's why I always stayed away from GMBs and shit as well. I just couldn't be bothered offering that as a fucking service. Fuck that. For lead gen and stuff, maybe, but yeah, fuck that stuff, man. And I could, live IRL fan, I could. There's lots of things you can do. Joseph is saying this is what it says. This location is disabled because it contains errors or does not comply with formatting guidelines. That was a GMB that got suspended straight away.
Yeah, well, disabled. So that means that's like non-existent. So it's not like a red thing that says suspended. So no, that's toast. You can put it back through, go back in there and make an edit and then resubmit. Check your email. And then obviously, like if you search it, it's in like a support.google, whatever it is. You can resubmit it, but the chances of that one ranking are, even if it goes through, the chances of it ranking are slim to none. So I would ditch it and make another one. Yeah.
Nice answer. Nice, honest answer, shall we say. Honey, does citation is important for local WordPress website? If you're asking, are citations useful for local SEO, then yes. But I'm not sure what you mean by local WordPress site.
Yeah, if it's just a local site on WordPress, I think that's like, okay, I've launched my website. I have my initial pillar pieces of content. I've issued out my press release. I've gotten my high quality guest posts to the main pages. Okay, what's next? Citations. I think it's just part of the process.
It's always one of the first things I do. Just SEObuilder.com. Fuck you. Go build them. And that's it. So, like Chris says, part of the process, I think.
Sure.
I don't even think about it. It's just that's it. End of story.
And then data aggregation. So if you've done citations, next is data aggregation. Oh yeah. I've seen that's. It seems like what's this thing doing? But it's a magical service for such a low cost. I like it a lot.
Talking about another service, Michael Norris, what is your thoughts about Dfy Suite 4.0? Is this a good or bad tool for automated backlinks? Now, I've never heard of it, I don't think.
Yeah, I never heard of it. Never used it.
Dfy Suite 4.0.
All right, you got me looking now.
I just want to see what it is. You just never know. Someone's put it out. It's.
They're running some serious ads.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh Zamora. It's on Muncheye, so it's part of that system. So it's interesting. It's a JVZoo type product. I don't know.
I've not used it, so I can't comment. It could be amazing.
When it comes to that kind of stuff, stick to the tried and true, right? I don't think these new ones are discovering anything that SEO Autopilot, GSA, SE Nuke, Scrapebox haven't already figured out. So stick to the tried and true. That's what I would do, but that's just my opinion.
Hope that helps you, Michael. And we both use an additional program called StreamYard. Well, I think you use StreamYard, right, Chris?
Sometimes. Not. I don't pay for it anymore, though.
So I use StreamYard, which then plugs into Facebook, LinkedIn, and all the other platforms that we stream to. That's my preferred tool of choice. But Chris, what are you currently using if you're not using StreamYard too much?
I was using that. I've been trying a lot of them. That REM, And then the new one's called Melon that I've been using
Mm-hmm.
just to try them out. But I had a talk with Diggity, and he tried to do the Melon, and it jacked them all up. I almost lost the talk over it. So I told them to refund my money. I was like, dude, you almost lost an opportunity for me. You're out of here.
Oh man, that StreamYard's never let me down. So
No, it's a good
like
product.
Chris says, sometimes stick with what works. I ain't changing from StreamYard until it fucking blows up. So yeah, I love it. And it's
I always like, see, for me, it's like if I see everybody jumping on something, I don't know what it is. I'm like, oh, there has to be something else. Like if I see everybody walking this way, I'm like, go over here.
Nah, sometimes that's a bad thing, man.
I know.
But hopefully that helps you, Michael Norris. And good to hear Chris DeBooty is moving into lead gen and building her own agency properties. I think you're heading in the right direction for what it's worth. Just dealing with human beings is, yeah, it is what it is. Joseph, but I can create multiple GMBs even with the same name and keep try testing fingerprint and stuff. What are the odds that happens the same or he'll get success? So obviously he's got his account suspended, Chris. Does he keep trying the same way? Is he doing something wrong? Is it a numbers game where you do 10 and only 5 will work, or and 5 will get suspended? Like, I know you do a lot more of this than I do. So what would you say here? Do you warm up the accounts first? Are you just this is the thing, Joseph. Are you just setting up a Gmail and then instantly trying to do all this stuff with it, or are you warming these up? Because I hear of other people warming accounts up. So would you say that's the important thing, Chris, warming the Gmail up?
Yeah, I think you should start with a high quality account, whether it's a brand new account, or you can warm them up. I was warming them up using a extension, a free extension, a Selenium IDE extension. But I think starting with a high quality account is probably the best bet. And then as far as to answer the question with the numbers game, sometimes you get 1, sometimes you get 3, sometimes you get 4. But once you hit a good account, I would just keep making them until it stops producing. Usually you could get 4 or 5.
So I'm just going to dig a bit deeper for Joseph. When you're saying set up a high quality account, do you mean like a paid G Suite account as opposed to just some free thing? Or
I think that would be the best way to go. That way, at least there's some credibility to the account starting out. Business owners, real businesses, and plus you generally have to tie that into a like a website. So, maybe even create a website and attach it and then go in and try it out. But before you do that, I would make sure that when you're logging in, make sure you're logging in from a fresh browser. A clear session, a fresh browser. Maybe not, don't use a VPN. Go buy an ISP off Blazing. Pay the $4, buy the ISP and log in through there. And then set up your account. And then if you can, through your business account, try to get a virtual card. Set up virtual card, a corporate account, set it up that way. That way you can keep them pushing. You can keep going. So like Ramp or, Brex, one of these types of companies where you have a lot of virtuals, and just keep buying them. That'll help at least that first step. Yeah.
And say for anyone else listening, you're a lazy bastard like me. Is there a guy that does this for you? Because that seems like a lot of fucking work. Are there services out there where people can do that for you?
I used to have a guy that I would recommend, but he fell off a bridge, I guess. I don't know what happened. But I don't recommend that type of service because you never know. I don't like to recommend that to anybody.
And one last thing on this subject, what was the name of that free extension to warm up the accounts?
Selenium IDE.
Selenium IDE.
Yeah, let me just double check and make sure that the exact name I have it correct. Let me see here. Selenium IDE. That's it. Yep.
There you go. Wait a minute, I've just balls this up. What's the name? So, Debrata, do you think foundation backlinks is a good move or add any value in e-commerce SEO?
So do I think that getting someone, if it's the beginning of a campaign, it's really up to you. Would I do it? Yes. Because they're very inexpensive. You can brand them out. It's another way to point back to the homepage. They're relatively clean. You could set them up any way you want, and they're really cheap to build. So, and they make great buffers. So that's why I like them, because you can abuse them.
Debrata has one more question. Out of his 1,600 products, 900 of them show up as orphaned. He's always checked it to interconnect with the homepage, the category, to the product pages, and he's not getting how the hell these things are showing up as orphaned pages. Can you put some checklist? I should look for the solution. So he believes that they're not orphan pages, and the tools are. So are the tools flagging up a false positive, or?
Well, but let's go back there a little bit, though. We have 1,600 products, right? So we have our top level category, and then you're listing all the SKUs, right? But why do I want every single SKU index? I really just want to rank that top level category page, right? So say you want to rank for blenders, and then you have 1,900 different types. Do I really want to rank the 1,900 types that is just auto-generated content? Or do I want to rank that top level page saying, hey, I have blenders?
Yeah.
So I would just look at that. It's up to you. But as far as the orphan and having somewhere to look, I don't know anything off the top of my head, but be mindful. Like, you don't need to index every single product. Pay close attention to the top level category page. Plus, Google rewards them already. Build your links there. Optimize that page. Be focused on that page, and then people will find. Just make it easy to navigate from that point. Yeah. So that's up to you. I'm dealing with that with a rug company right now. So that's exactly what we did. And moving on up, he's happy. I'm happy.
Michael Norris is asking for your thoughts on getting links from Google News websites to a money website. This concept of Google News websites seems similar to PBNs, which Google hates. So what makes a Google News website different? I wasn't aware that Google hated their own news sites, but hey.
Well, and who said Google hates PBNs? Aren't links a link, or a site is a site, and a site is a site until Google deems it not, right?
Yeah.
So like a website's a website. A link is a link. Do I think that the Google News, I think it's just another site. I don't understand why getting a link from Google News would be any issue. I don't see any problem with it. I actually like it a lot for tier 2.
Michael Norris is saying, for people who are selling links to post in their network of Google News websites, very valid service. People do have that service. It works.
I offer it, and I recommend grabbing your existing backlink profile and submit that, and then let's build 1,000 links to every single link that you have, and then in 60 days you can come and thank me and buy another one. Because it's very effective. Very, very effective.
So Live IRL fan, I did answer this earlier, but I'm not interested in Android phones. I don't have Android phones, don't like them, don't want to touch them. So I certainly wouldn't use one SIM card for multiple Android phones. Just not how I would do it. But you can switch your iPhone into airplane mode, and then it changes out the IP address and stuff like that. So what you're saying doesn't make any sense for the 4G network, because obviously switching out IPs as and when I want to. So whether it's an Android or not is irrelevant. The IP changes every time you put the phone into airplane mode. So yeah, hopefully that helps you, mate. But I can't comment on Android phones or whatever because I don't like them and never touched one. So there you go. Michael Norris, what's your thoughts on using page builders like Elementor slowing sites down? I'm going to make the assumption, Michael, you've read a lot of white hat shit somewhere, and be careful what you read. Should you be using something like Cadence theme and blocks instead? Elementor is the most frequently used template out there. A lot of people are using it. Of course, templates that are bloated do slow your speed down, but you've also got other plugins that can speed your website back up. So be careful what you're reading. People do use PBNs very frequently. People do buy links. People use news networks. People use Elementor. So I wouldn't be reading what appears that you have been reading, because it seems to be kind of
Good.
good. Yeah, it's the best one. Joseph, is marked orphan on Ahrefs when you have too many products? The crawl stops at 500 pages and marks random errors on Ahrefs, for example.
Well, okay. But okay, so if you do a site : search, are those pages? I mean, so what? Right? I mean, it is what it is. Are people going in and are they still finding the pages? If you go look in Google, are those pages showing up? Right? If you want those SKUs marked, when you do a site : search, is that page indexed? Is that page appearing in search results? Can that page be found? Is that page internally linked? Right? Is it easy to navigate to? That's just because a third-party tool is saying, oh, this is an orphan page, doesn't mean that I need to spend the next 48 hours dedicating my time to fixing that. Just saying. I don't know why that would be. What do you think, Craig?
I mean, you're right. What does it matter if they are showing up as orphan? Now, it's normally SEMrush that shows up orphan pages in their site audits. However, like Chris says, what does it fucking matter for a lot of those pages? Because a lot of those pages are not internally linked, and they're more than X amount of clicks away and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, sometimes that will flag up just by the sheer size of your site. And as long as those are not your top level category pages, then who cares? Because every website, and I can't emphasize this enough, doesn't matter whether it's mine, Chris Palmer's, or anyone else's website. You go to Ahrefs and you look at top pages. There's a tab for that. Every website out there gets a serious amount of traffic through a very small percentage of their overall website. Focus on those pages, and the ones that are bringing in the traffic, the ones that have the rankings. I couldn't care less. Of course, unless it was pages that were designed to rank, then you're going to have to worry about it. So, like Chris says, I wouldn't worry about it. I'd be more concerned on the pages that were ranking well, that do have traffic. How can I improve on that? And fuck those other pages. Is what I would say. So,
well said. That's what I wanted to say, but I was like,
Michael Norris, Chris, what's the price of your Google News site service?
Depends on if you need me to write it or not, but it starts at $39. $39 it starts at.
Per article?
Per blast. I only sell the blast.
Right.
So 1,000 links for $39, and they're all Google News approved.
Interesting. Redo, good to see you. And guys, we are out of time, so no more questions. And great to see you, Fred, and great to see a lot of questions. We do appreciate it. Last one, though, from Michael Norris, the white hat guy. You're asking about link wheels, which link wheels was spoke about like maybe 2011, something like that. Are people still talking about link wheels, Chris?
Not people that I talk to.
So link wheels is effectively a wheel of links that all do point into each other and all that kind of stuff, like a big dirty PBN. Is that the right strategy? No, that's a sure way of leaving a footprint to getting yourself a good old slap from Google. So are they effective? Absolutely not. Were they working 15 years ago? Yes.
Sure.
So that's where I said whatever you're reading is so far out of date, it's unbelievable. Just the terminology and stuff. So be careful what you're reading, because there's a lot of bullshit out there, Michael. And a lot of myths. And because we say this is right or that's right, some people disagree with it and all that kind of stuff. So it's all about opinions and debate and all that stuff as well. So There we go. But that is the last question for today, guys. We will be back at the same time next week. And do check out Mr. Chris Palmer on his YouTube channel, or check him out on chrispalmermarketing.com.
Yes.
Or seomastermind.org. And do check out ODYS, guys. But thank you for all the questions, everyone. And hopefully we'll catch you guys again next week.
Thank you. See you.
Cheers.